was fortunate enough to play with some outstanding Bristol players, the likes of Mike Rafter, Austin Shepherd, John Doubleday, Alan Morley, to name just a few, who I learnt an awful lot off and developed with them to take me going forward. The big difference is obviously from training then in the 80s and 90s to where we are now at the High Performance Centre is chalk and cheese. If it was a wet Tuesday or Thursday night, we only trained twice a week, but if it was wet and the grounds were waterlogged, we actually ended up training on the car park or on the gravel. I suppose a couple of games, one where I wasn't involved. I was a young player with Bristol, and Bristol obviously got to the John Player final, as it was then, against Leicester, who had a great side during the 80s and the early 90s. And it was the first time Bristol went to Twickenham with a full house and gained the John Player Cup, and just witnessing that inspired you to go on and try and emulate that and do as best you could for Bristol. And then later on in my career, in the mid or early to mid 90s, again against Leicester at the Memorial Ground in front of a full house, we were the massive underdogs against the star-studded Leicester side, and we actually went out and destroyed them in the Mem, and that memory will last forever in my memory. It was a tremendous afternoon in front of a full house in the Memorial Ground.
So my first memories of watching Bristol, obviously at the Mem, as Bristol Shoguns, walking up from Southmead Braintree down through Gloucester Road, and the team back then, the names like P-Shot, Contapony, players like that. So that's when I first started watching Bristol from a very young age. Just in my time it's my 10th season now as a player, I think we've had a change of stadium, a rebrand, change of training ground. I think I'm the only player here for my first season. So everything, but I think the game's just grown overall. That how professional it's got now. Little things like a backroom staff. You got nutritionists, you got top chefs, you got more S&C staff, more physio staff, more focus on analysis. So just seeing the growth in the game since I've been here has been massive. I want to talk about. I mentioned earlier on about the European Challenge Cup trophy. That I think. Having that been the norm, us to winning trophies every year or competing for trophies every year. Personally, I got a milestone. I won 250 games for the club. Still got around 100 to go. But yeah, just in the next 5 years, just to build a culture where winning trophies is standard. So hopefully, yeah, in there 1,000 games time, you can come here and talk and say we've got Champions Cup, we've got a few Premiership titles. That would be special.